Fate of the universe on the line. I want Iguodala.
Kevin Durant. You know who I am.
Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Is this the dagger?
Gary's had a trade day, nothing like ever before. Apart from the Nugs and the Heat, it was mostly quite a bore. Changes are done. I'll sit back and enjoy some subtle wordplay. Ships are stuck in some canal, but we ain't stuck nowhere. On the hashtag Balls NBA podcast, your favorite NBA podcast in an Indian accent. My name is Ashwin, and if you haven't yet, please do consider subscribing to our channel on YouTube and following our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast at. We are back at it again this week to capture the beauty of the trade season, the trade deadline, where people move houses, children lose friends, and postmen lose their bonuses. Speaking of losses, I've got with me, as always, someone who was on Kosovan television the other day, someone who has predicted a Nets parade in early May, and someone who loves filter coffee more than any frappe. Vineet Devaya. Vineet, welcome to this emergency pod. How goes it?
It goes good, my friend. It goes good. Thank you for
Goes much
the
better
great
than
introduction.
It was much better than that ship which is stuck and causing
Yes.
issues everywhere.
I thought you would rhyme it to canal, but you didn't.
But I rhymed
You
it
know?
to something else.
You didn't rhyme it to anything.
Ship
Just-
I rhymed it to the previous one. It's the previous
I-
thing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Okay, Vineet, lot of movement. The more, not most of it's important, but some of it like really important. And some of it, I think I would really like to hear what you think of. I think majorly Nuggets and Heat were the major players. We will talk about it,
Yeah.
of course, but just going through. First of all, I mean, rest in peace to the great Elgin Baylor, one of the
Yes.
greatest to not win a championship. Like I think he was always no. I mean, we make fun of it, but I've heard
Who
some
makes fun of him? I don't make fun of him.
not you. Like people make fun of like people have that Mount Rushmore of people who've not won. Right? There's Charles Barkley. There's
Charles Barkley,
Elgin
Karl
Baylor,
Malone.
Karl Malone, John Stockton. LeBron used to be there, but when LeBron went off, then in my head it was like Charles Barkley and Elgin Baylor, probably the greatest to never win a championship. Not that his greatness has.
I think Karl Malone is better than Charles Barkley any day.
I don't think so. Okay, I mean,
so yeah, I mean, I think Karl Malone just gets. I mean, not to steal the thunder from Elgin Baylor. Great player. Unfortunately, he and Jerry West went against the greatest of the greatest teams of forever.
Absolutely.
And they just got beaten. I mean, I watched this documentary of Jerry West once, and it was so depressing. It was so depressing because that team was so good and they tried so hard to beat the Boston Celtics, and they couldn't. The Celtics team was just so good that
I think he had some 8 losses in the finals. All to
the Celtics. Yeah. So it was it's a very, I don't know if it's on YouTube, but it's a Jerry West documentary, and it just shows like him and Elgin Baylor just crying after every finals.
Absolutely. I think I heard in some other documentary that he hated the color green. Like he could not stand the color green during his playing career, and even like 10-15 years later also, like if I ever saw green, like I would have a blackout.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough on him.
Kyle Lowry, Raptors, almost got traded. I think everyone had reels made up for him, posts made and saying, Kyle Lowry, greatest Raptor, this, that, and all that. And the trade deadline came and it went, and Kyle Lowry is still in the 6th. So I thought that was pretty, anticlimactic. I did not think that they would move him, but I think what happened is they were ready to move him, but everyone kept trying to lowball Masai Ujiri, and Ujiri said that I'm not going to let that happen. He's a legend. If you give me the right price, I'll give you him, but otherwise there's no way that we are trying to get rid of him, which I thought was a good message to send, especially to Kyle Lowry, like that we are not trying to get rid of you. We want a fair price for you. So I thought that was pretty, like one of the most anticlimactic things to happen in this trade deadline period. There are some injuries and some MVP discussions we'll have, but first let me tell you what happened in the trade deadline. These are the major reported trades. Okay, so we have Chicago Bulls acquiring Nikola Vucevic and Daniel Theis. One is a shooting big man, one of the best scoring big men in the league, and one is Daniel Theis. Yes, he sets very good screens. and some days his offensive rebounds go in.
No, I think he's probably like in the second tier centers. He's probably in the top 2 or 3, right?
Wow, I do not know what that tier is, but anyway, Delta there's no hate. It's cool, whatever. Nuggets, they got Aaron Gordon from Magic and JaVale
Yes.
McGee. Homecoming back
Yes.
for JaVale McGee, and I think that's a good. We will talk about Nuggets especially. We have Miami Heat getting Victor Oladipo and uh, Belicha. Belicha, I don't know if you are aware. Again, Belicha is a nice scoring guy.
Yeah.
We have Clippers who acquired Rondo from Atlanta and they sent Lou Williams there. And I think this is one of the underrated trades. Norman Powell making his way to Portland Trail Blazers
Portland's.
from Toronto Raptors. I think that that sort of made me feel that they might give away Kyle Lowry also, because Norman Powell was one of their better 3-point shooters. He had a 40-point game this season and all of that. Boston Celtics get Evan Fournier and
Evan Fournier.
is he Evan?
Yeah,
Is he Frenchman?
Yeah,
he's a
that's
Frenchman.
how to say it.
Could be Evan. Is it Evan? Okay, Evan Fournier, and yeah, that's it. Major trades are those ones, and because Denver is your team, their guy
Denver is my team.
Denver is your team. Their guy is your guy. So we're gonna start
my
with
guy,
this one.
who I predicted even before he was the great Nikola Jokic that he would be great.
He'd be great.
Let's acknowledge it. Can I get a prize for that?
No, but you'll get some sound. If I can find that soundbite, I'll send you that soundbite.
Okay.
Anyway, see, they got Aaron Gordon.
Yes, they did.
And JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee, as our audience might know, played for the Nuggets. Then he moved around the league, and then he came back.
How's the rice coming along, bro?
Rice, you have to eat rice. It's a special rice today. It's a basmati rice.
Okay.
I think 3 whistles should be enough. On the audio podcast, you might not hear it because of my amazing engineering, but on the video podcast, it goes without saying that some things are more important than basmati rice, and this pod is one of those. Anyways, yes, Aaron Gordon, offensive, not a genius, but offensively he's played much better this year. He's got a lot more touches. He's scoring more. His hair has found its right place, I think. And JaVale McGee as a good backup for this. But what my take for this trade was that I think they realized that if they made a mistake trading Jeremy Grant, and they got someone who brings something similar to what Jeremy Grant does. Because I don't know what is the difference between Jeremy Grant and Aaron Gordon in this Nuggets universe. And JaVale McGee is a good backup center, plays much different, much smarter than Mason Plumlee, who I think they sent out. So he fills in that gap as well. So Vineet, please take it away. Let us know what you feel this trade has brought about to the Nuggets. But right now in 5th position in the West, it's not the worst position to be at.
Well, I mean, I think I don't know how it's going to work out, because the player that's supposed to play is not playing really well, which is Jamal Murray. So I think the plan was to when Jokic needs rest, Jamal can, because Jokic doesn't really need Jamal. Jokic can get others involved. He can make Will Barton look like Kobe Bryant. So it's he doesn't really need Jamal to get like the offense running, whereas Jamal probably needs like a second threat on the floor, a legit threat on the floor, so that he can cook, and I think that's what Aaron Gordon brings. I think Aaron Gordon is more of an offensive threat than Jeremy Grant.
You don't think so? Okay.
I mean, I think so. Okay. And obviously Jeremy Grant is doing really well in the Pistons, but when you play in a team that has nobody else, anybody looks good, AKA.
And you stop insulting Jeremy Grant. He was doing amazing last year for the Nuggets as well. His defense, his 3-and-D defense, and his 3-point shooting is the reason that they could neutralize a lot of the Clippers' onslaught. You stop taking away credit from Jeremy Grant.
Yes. No, I'm not taking away.
Nuggets made a mistake by trading him. There was no reason.
No.
They got someone who does the same things as Jeremy Grant.
No,
Are you disagreeing with that? What does Aaron Gordon do, which is much better than Jeremy Grant?
I think Aaron Gordon is he's more of a kind of I think role player. I think Jeremy Grant wanted a bigger role and
No,
he
absolutely
wanted
not.
this and
Jeremy
that.
Grant has been role playing since
No, he said
relatively
that,
young.
right? He said that this was the talks from the Nuggets thing, and he himself and his management or whatever his agent himself said that like Jeremy Grant is looking for a bigger role, which he wouldn't get in the, because they wanted to get Michael Porter Jr. So I think I'm not disagreeing with you that maybe Aaron Gordon does not really move the needle too much,
Hmm.
because the only place where Aaron Gordon will be useful is when Jamal Murray is on the court and Nikola Jokic is resting. And so then, Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray can be like a dual threat offensively, and they can play pick and roll, and the offense will flow much more smooth. Because what was happening with the Nuggets is as soon as Jokic goes out,
Hmm.
Jamal Murray is playing like shit, like the offense would just die. So that if you look at it, Nikola Jokic is playing the most number of minutes for Nuggets, because the
Absolutely.
moment you take Jokic out, it's horrible.
Hmm.
They have no flow in offense. Jamal Murray does nothing. Like he just does ISO, and he's a good ISO player, but it doesn't, like, when the whole game plan of your team is free flowing offense, and then you have this one guy playing ISO, it just doesn't really gel well. So I think Aaron Gordon, JaVale McGee, these are kind of like a way to bolster when Nikola Jokic is kind of out of the offense,
Hmm.
or he's taking rest even when if he's on the court. He's just like kind of resting, which I think will be very useful in the playoffs. So I think that's the only need, I think, because Jamal Murray is the one that needs to play well. He's the only one that has the potential to like kind of take the
Explore
I
over
mean,
like
take
that.
them to the promised land of the championship. I think if Jokic plays the way Jokic is playing and Murray plays the way they were playing he was playing in the playoffs, I think they have a serious chance of at least getting to the Western Conference Finals again.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many injuries that like if you can get there, then you really don't know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah. It's just about like staying healthy and staying fit, and I think Jamal is kind of a fit person, so he'll kind of get there. Jokic also looks like he's fit.
We'll
Hmm.
move on to the other team that we want to talk about, Miami Heat. They've got their own version of the uh, you know cheap man's big three. They've got Victor Oladipo, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo, and they found Belicha also, which is like a nice stretch sort of place. Do you think there's too many like Victor Oladipo? Do you think he does bring so much more to the Heat?
I mean, yeah, I mean, why not? It becomes a better team. I think it gives them another player who can create offense by themselves, which is very important in today's NBA. Yeah, it's a positive for the Miami Heat. I mean, I think the Miami Heat was kind of down because of all the injuries. They've come
Injuries,
back.
yeah.
They've rolled back
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
to where they were supposed to be, and I think this gives them like another boost to be very competitive when the playoff comes. Now I don't know how much it matters, because you have Brooklyn and Philly and Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is playing really really good.
Yeah.
Uh, because I think, like I said, in the first, when I was thinking of doing this segment that I was trying to do, I was watching the Milwaukee Bucks a lot, and they were running like very non Giannis players, and that's what is kind of like, I think, bringing more results now, as you're seeing that, like, yeah, Giannis does what Giannis is going to do, but the rest of the people have gained confidence. There's more of a gameplay when he's out. There's more flow.
Mm.
Obviously, adding Drew Holiday has been amazing for them. So they're playing really really well. I think they won like last 13 of the last 14 games they've played or something like that.
Interesting. They've lost the last game, so yeah. I mean, they've last 10 games. They are 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Yeah. So except for yesterday, I think then they were doing pretty well, I think.
Yesterday, though, they came against Celtics, and Jason Tatum made Giannis look like he had no ligament. It's like, oh, oh, defensive player of the year. But I mean, I still don't care about the Celtics though. They have disappointed me too many times. I feel Oladipo.
Oh yes. What do you feel,
Yes,
Ashwin?
thank you very much for letting me speak. I was just saying, ki Oladipo. I don't know, like because Oladipo by himself is so good. I don't know how good he will be in trying to get into a team which is like hard, dogged nosed. This year, their main shooters, Tyler Hero has not been shooting well. Uh, Robert, I don't know what Duncan Robinson's numbers are, but no, absolutely the injury to Bam and then to Butler and then again all these recurring injuries have absolutely not helped them at all. 22-24 their record is. I'm sure they'll make it to the playoffs if this group can stay healthy. Uh, but I don't know. I really don't see Oladipo as sort of like a support player to a non-great player. Like because him and Oladipo, him and Butler has the thing that last year I took this team to the finals, won 2 games against LeBron purely on my back. They rode and all of that, but yet nobody thinks of Jimmy Butler as one of the top players in the league, one of the superstars, max contract sort of guys. So I don't know how Oladipo will. Like Oladipo has played again with Russell Westbrook, and then he had his own thing in Indiana. But so for some reason, that in
Okay.
Oladipo and Butler thing doesn't seem that. It's
very,
not
very,
very. It's not
very, very invaluable insights.
I mean, they've not played. I mean, if they play and then they win, then I'll be like, of course, they look like such guys. But I really don't feel. This is the same thing I feel about the. I think we were having a chat with some of our listeners, and they were talking about what is Rondo going to the Clippers gonna do. And my feeling again there is that Rondo is the biggest head there. Like there is no one who has more skill level, like who has the brain of a Rondo there. Like when he went to the Lakers, there was LeBron there, and LeBron is not going to let someone else do their thing. But now Rondo goes there. I'm not sure if that's a great place to go for Rondo as well. Purely from like a Rondo. Rondo cannot be that guy with the biggest decision making skill at the Clippers because it needs to be a different guy. It can't be Rondo.
It can't be Rondo. That's what you think.
Yeah, that's what I think. So yeah, let me. What is it that you feel that's a great trade, sending Louisville to the?
Yeah. I think Lou Williams was not playing well. I think Lou Williams is kind of. I think he losing Montrez and.
I think gaining Paul George probably made Louisville's contributions look that much small. Because
no, I mean I think yeah. I mean people. The funny part is everybody's got like an ego. How much ever they're of a team player, like very few players or very few people can keep their ego aside and play as a team, right? And this is why I love the Spurs, because you had great players. Like Manu Ginobili is not a scrub, like amazing player, and so is Tony Parker, and they all three of them, and obviously Tim Duncan, they all kind of came together and decided to play as a team. And I think Kawhi Leonard has that. Kawhi Leonard is a kind of a team player. He understands that it's required, and he showed that with the Raptors. When the Raptors were playing, he didn't he took over the game when he had to take over the game, but he did not give me the ball, I'll just do whatever I want to do, when he could have done that.
I mean, he did that basically. That's what they did because nobody from Raptors could do anything.
Yeah. But as I said, yes, but that's only in the. But Siakam was an important part. Norman Powell played. Fred VanVleet was very impressive in certain moments. And when Kawhi could have taken over, like a certain KB who would take over for no fucking reason, even if he's not playing well. Wow. Right. And so I think Kawhi Leonard has that. I think Paul George also is a team player. He doesn't have much of an ego as such, and you can see them playing. But the problem with those two was always that they needed a point guard. They're both not good playmakers. They are not good in making the team better. So I think having Rondo there will actually make the whole team better, because it's not about decision making. It's not about deferring, but it's about running the pace of the team, right? It's a very important aspect. Look at what CP3 has done with the Suns, right? All he has done is just controlled the pace, made sure everyone touches the ball, everyone gets the ball at the right place. Booker gets all his touches, Booker scores the way he scores, and they win. Winning is very different from making buckets. And a lot of people just want touches, they want to do buckets, they want to look good on TV, they want their face on Instagram every day. Those are their requirements. And I don't think CP3 is that kind of a player. He wants to win. He's been a winner ever since he's come into the league. And so has Rondo. Rondo's always won. Every time you put the ball in his hand, like he wins you playoff series. Even if you ask Kevin Garnett and you ask those guys, Paul Pierce, they'll say that. I mean, at that time, Rondo was what, 22, 23,
just
very
coming
young.
to the league.
Yeah, they said that like by the end of the season, we just knew he was the guy who had to have the ball in his hand. Like he was smarter, better in decision making in crunch moments than any of these Hall of Fame players
I don't think
who
they
have
ever
massive.
said that, but I mean,
No. Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce both have said that.
I think they said that we trust him to get the ball to us. I don't think they trusted him to take the shot and all.
No, not the shot. What did I say? Decision making. Yeah, that he should have the ball in the hand, not as a take a shot. See, again, you're like he should take the shot. No, it's not about taking the shot. It's about who gets the right person to take the right shot. My point is, yes, there was a time where Golden State ran amok and they killed everybody in the playoffs. But in general, when the playoffs come, the speed of the game goes slow. Absolutely. And half court is the way to win. And when you have a half court set, you need intelligent players making intelligent decisions, and that's where Rondo comes.
I am not saying Rondo is an idiot and he just won accidentally. Rondo is a really smart guy, but I just.
Then what are you saying then?
I'm saying that Rondo is not temperamental enough to play in this sort of game. Like he can't be, if he realizes that he's the smartest, the most brightest person in that team, then that team is not going to win. He has to have an ego bigger than his. It's very similar to Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook needs to have someone who has an.
But Russell Westbrook is never known for his IQ. Never. When has Russell Westbrook ever?
It's not about IQ. Why is it? It's not about IQ. You're talking about winning. Correct. You're talking about winning.
Yes. Yes. IQ for winning.
No. IQ for winning is different. That is, see, sometimes you make decisions. No, that's not what I'm saying. Even your CP3. CP3 has great IQ. What has he won till now? He's not won anything. He had pretty good teams in his life.
Yeah.
He's not won anything.
He's gone to the Western Conference Finals like 3-4 times.
No. That's not the point. Well, Western Conference semifinals is not that just means that you won one series and then you've reached the Western Conference semifinals.
Two series.
One series. First series you win, you get to Western Conference semifinals. Then next series you win, you get to Western Conference finals. Then you win one series, you get to the thing. Western Conference semifinals is just one series. That's
finals. I said finals.
Western Conference finals. He's never been to the Western Conference finals. He's never ever been to the Western Conference finals. Please.
Dude, he took the Pelicans.
CP3 took the Pelicans, sir.
New Orleans, yes.
New Orleans.
They went to the Western Conference Finals.
CP3 didn't. Okay, fine. I'll put up a board which says that I'm right and you're wrong, just because you have absolutely no clue about what you're talking about. But that's not the point. That is not even the point. That is not even the point. You're talking about IQ. I am saying it's a personality sort of thing. Rondo won because he could not think that he was the best person on the Celtics team. Rondo, after that, every single time, the only time he succeeded is when he was not the major sort of person. I think there was this series against he was in the Bulls and they were playing Heat, and the first two games they won, but then they got injured and lost it. Rondo has never won in his life when he is the smartest, biggest person on that team. He's never won because that cannot exist.
But has there been a scenario where Rondo was the smartest, best IQ person on the team and he had talent that was world class?
Rondo is not I don't think Rondo is that kind of person. Like Rondo can't score enough to be the superstar. Rondo is.
So that's my point. Like, so you can't,
Last year, Rondo was very effective because LeBron James was there, and when LeBron James was not there, he was the one organizing that. It would be LeBron James.
See, what you're saying is that Rondo could not win if he is the biggest ego or biggest mind in the team, whatever it
absolutely.
is. Yes. I'm saying that there has been no other scenario where he was the biggest mind, the biggest team, and he had good players on the other end. The only other time was New Orleans Pelicans, where he basically, if you go and look at it, he basically won them that series.
He had AD, yeah.
He had AD, and he made them win that series. That was a pretty shitty team.
They won one series. Yeah. Beat the Trailblazers. That's it.
Yeah, what does you want in the Western Conference Finals? Then they went against the eventual champions, that is the Golden State Warriors.
Again.
So even Rondo cannot.
If I can look at the future and be like, this is going to happen.
The probability of you being.
The probability of me being right and wrong will be judged in the next few weeks. Again,
the probability of you being right is very high because only one person can win the championship.
Only one person? No, that's okay.
Only one team, right?
I'm saying that Rondo has only won when he's not been the biggest ego on that team, and in this case, he is definitely the biggest ego on that team, and I don't think it's a good thing
But
for
how can you say that when there has no scenario where he's the biggest
using
ego
my
on the
brain,
team?
using my if I had historical data for everything, then what is the point of me being here?
No,
Because
but he's not. He's played only for like 6 or 7 teams. Like you can go through them.
6 or 7 teams. Okay, that's not the point. My point is that I feel that from whatever I've seen,
Okay,
that
that's
I
what you
don't think
feel. Okay.
that I don't think him going to Clippers is gonna be of great help to the Clippers. Might be great help because he is a great point guard, but I don't think once playoffs come, he will not be able to do. I mean, see, you hire Rondo because you want to win.
But what do you think the ceilings of the? Where do you think the Clippers are going to get to?
Clippers I think they can get to the Western Conference Finals and lose to
Yeah.
the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they could have done that
Yeah.
without we're keeping Louisville also. I think. I
Yeah,
don't.
they could have done that with
Ah,
that also. But I'm saying
no,
like with Rondo,
but
they have
that
a better chance.
no. I think they could have done the same thing. I don't think Rondo has. See, you hire Rondo because you're like this year we have to beat the Lakers. We have to get to the NBA Finals. That's why you're getting Rondo. Even if you get, I mean, I don't think even if they get there, I don't think they'll beat the Nets. But I think it'll be a fun series because Kawhi Leonard will be guarded by Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant will be guarded by Kawhi Leonard. So it'll be fun. But we are talking about just getting to the finals. I don't feel that that's gonna happen, and that's all I mean.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Even our friend on I forgot who it was. Anyway, whoever the listener was, he also said that he feels that Rondo is going to be amazing for the Clippers. So
I mean, like
one of us will be right. Absolutely.
no. I mean, the point is, what is the ceiling of the Clippers?
The
It's either
ceiling of the Clippers,
second round or
the
Western Conference
expectation,
Finals. It's one of those two, right?
the expectation should be we have to make the NBA finals. That's it. There's no we'll get to the finals again. They have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and this season, I don't think they can have any excuse. Last season was a miraculous, like a collapse of epicest proportions. I don't think they can expect Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to go scoreless in the fourth quarter again and again and again. I don't think that's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen. But
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
that's what I feel. And now we will move on to there's
Chicago.
more the fun. Chicago, yeah,
What?
Chicago got
The biggest winner was the Chicago.
What do you say?
Yeah. Who else was the biggest winner?
I think biggest winner, matlab, okay, fine. You think the best player in this trade deadline was Nikola Vucevic?
Yeah, I mean, look,
I
dude.
agree.
I
I
mean,
agree. I mean,
and they got Thais, right? So they are basically like one move away from being like a very, 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 very good team. The fit between Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic is like amazing because Zach LaVine likes the limelight. He's a scorer. He's a hooper, if they may say in those words.
Pure hooper.
He's a pure hooper. And Nikola Vucevic is a quiet guy. He just likes to get his shit done. He likes to put numbers. He gets stuff done without wanting like too much attention, without wanting too much touches. Very efficient team player. So it's a phenomenal
Stretches
fit.
the floor. He'll give space to Zach LaVine.
It's a
I agree, but
phenomenal fit
yeah,
because most people of the caliber of Vucevic they want to be the star of the team. They want the limelight, and that will always conflict with the shooting guard because the shooting guards or the point guards usually have the ball, and so you have to feed them. Like the problem with like guys like even like Kareem and Shaq and all these people is they can only be successful if they have someone who's good enough to feed them the ball, right? You need that if you're a big man, and ideally that kind of combination is really good where you have like a silent but effective big man like Paul Gasol and Kobe Bryant. Like that was such a great, like the biggest steal of the 2000s was Paul Gasol going to Lakers, right? Because he was such a talented player, and he was also like he would take the backseat without wanting the limelight. He would just do the job, have the highest winning percentage of the playoff finals, and just do it, right? And I think Vucic is of the similar thing, extremely talented, will do the job, not want the limelight. And Zach LaVine is, he wants the limelight. He's like, oh, I have to be the all-star, all that bullshit. So it's a good fit, I think, that way. And they're just kind of one player away, one good kind of 3-and-D player away from being a competitive team, which they have not been for many. So I think they've gone from being like a nobody to like a really, really good team in the East.
Yeah, I mean, August, all those kind of things aside, this is a little bit more new age. Nikola Vucevic, I think I can see what you mean by, he will help Zach LaVine.
And they also got Thais, which is a good
Yeah.
second rung center.
I don't know. I've seen Thais. I mean, I think there's this player Robert Williams the third or something uh, on the Celtics. I think he probably was a little more. See, if you have got nothing to do other, if nobody, they don't trust your mid range shots, they don't call plays for you, and all you're doing is setting screens, which is, again, if that's what you do well, do well. You can't, and you shoot threes at a very mediocre rate, then you really need to be more, aggressive in getting the
On the
offensive
offensive side, yeah.
offensive side. Because the ball is not going to come to you. You have to go and get them. And I don't think Thais had that sort of a thing. And defensively also, I don't think he was that great. So I don't see what you're saying, but whatever.
Well, I mean, if you look at the second rung centers, right? Like let's forget the first rung.
Who is the first?
Who are the second?
Who is the first?
This first rungs are like Embiid, Nikola Jokic,
Okay.
AD.
Steven
These are
Adams.
all this Steven.
So Steven Adams is the second rank. Okay.
Yeah, Steven second rank.
That's what I wanted to know. What do you mean about?
Yeah, like Steven Adams is absolutely trash on offense. That is his biggest problem. Even if he could if he has the bucket like right there, he'll still won't put it. I don't know why he's like so afraid of just.
He's like, I don't want to hurt people trying to score and all that.
I don't get that. Like that's my only issue with Steven Adams. If Steven Adams was, I mean, I don't think that's the problem with Daniel Theis. I just think that he's not. He'll be offensively good if he wants to. He played a role in the Celtics, and Celtics have a different pace of playing and different way of playing.
Yeah, man. But if he can score, they'll give you the ball. He can't score. That's why they didn't give the ball.
Dude, Celtics play a 3-guard team.
But still, if you're free somewhere, then you can get.
No, so that means that like you don't have that much opportunity, right? Now when Chicago plays now, I mean, hopefully, I don't know who their third player is going to be. They're going to play a pick and roll, shooting guard with big rolling to the basket kind of basketball. So Nuggets style. So if Vucevic is out, then Daniel Theis will get a lot of like these kind of Clint Capella type roll to the basket dunks. And Zach LaVine is a decent passer of the ball. So I think it'll work. I think that the step up has been the most for Chicago. Everyone else is kind of like just fit in. I mean, maybe Norman Powell is a better player than Gary Trent.
Yeah.
So that's
a better defender also.
He's a better defender also. So that is also like a little bit of a strengthening of the Portland Trailblazers because no one has made the kind of jump that Chicago has done.
Okay. There's also, Andre Drummond who's on the buyout market. So the news is that Lakers are probably going to target him, which I think is good for the Lakers. The Lakers have done absolutely nothing to and LeBron going down, AD going down. Now they probably won't be there for the entire month of April, according to whatever reports. So Lakers could be looking at like a 4th, 5th seed by the time they come back, and then have to hurry back to recover the whole postseason. I think. To be honest, I don't think it matters. Lakers could be 7th also. I don't think really it matters to them because I'm sure they back themselves to beat all those players. Like if you have LeBron and AD, I'm sure you back yourself to beat most teams on most occasions. Maybe from one MVP, which is LeBron, we'll talk about the current MVP race. This seems a bit dangerous because whoever we are touting to be MVP, they just go down. We said LeBron will be MVP injury. Embiid will be MVP injury. We have now the leader, the main man himself, Vinny's own, Nikola Jokic.
James Harden. So that he goes down with injury. I've choose James Harden.
No. We sincerely hope that none of these jinxes are true, or hexes, as they may say. But we've got James Harden right behind Nikola Jokic in the MVP race. Dame Lillard is there. Donovan Mitchell is there. I think... I think CP3 can also be there like in the 5th position because like you said, he is the only change to the Phoenix Suns from last year and they are now top of the, like right up there in
Western
the
Conference. Yeah.
Conference.
So far, yeah.
Rankings. Yeah. Let me just confirm that. But yes, they're right there, 3 points behind, 3 games behind the Jazz. I think you're still backing Jokic to be MVP, correct?
Yes. I am still backing, but I have a feeling that the sentiment will run towards Harden or Dame just because like they are much bigger public figures and the media it's kind of a media word, and the media, there's nothing to write about Jokic, and Harden has like, Anyway, I think Jokic should win.
I think
But
you should just give your argument as to why Jokic should win. Because media people like us will take care of the other side.
like you, anyway, yeah, I mean, I think there's no reason why he shouldn't win the MVP. He's playing at an MVP level. His team is absolute trash. No one's really contributing consistently. I shared that graphic about
Oh yeah,
about
stats. He's
his
number one
stats, where he's number one in literally every stat that matters for the team, and he's been very consistent. Like, he's not taken days off. He's shown up to play every day. Yeah, and that's the reason why I think he's the most. I mean, you take him out, and the Nuggets will probably be nowhere. Yeah, so that's my take for him. I mean, there is an argument for Harden, and I think we discussed this in the chat. Is like, Harden with Kyrie and Durant, right? And people say like Durant. Okay, yeah, Durant has not played. Durant has played 20 games, right? So you're looking at the overall win of
Harden did not play half of the 20 games that they played. Like, Harden came midway through.
That's not the point. The point is that you're basing the two teams and saying that James Harden, like Brooklyn Nets, has more wins, right?
No, I did not say that. I said James Harden has much better stats, like huger stats than Nikola Jokic at this point. And most of the games he's played, he's either not had KD or not had Kyrie. It's not like, I don't think he's had KD for a lot of the games that they've.
Yeah, he's not had KD for a lot of the games, but he's had Kyrie for a lot of games. And for me, it's like the only thing that will make the difference is kind of which team has a better record. Like, I expect if Brooklyn Nets is number one in the league, I think it should go to Harden, because they have the team. Whether Kyrie or KD doesn't play, you have Blake Griffin. You have what's his name? What's that guy's name? DeAndre Jordan.
Stop bringing up DeAndre Jordan like he's a real
dude. DeAndre Jordan is a perfect run and gun person for James Harden.
I agree.
That's my point.
All he has to do is jump. That's it.
That's it. What else does James Harden need? James Harden needs that when he drives to the basket, right? When he drives to the basket, he doesn't get clobbered by the big guy. And the only way you can stop that is by having another big running parallel, so that now the big has to make a decision. Should I go towards James or should I go towards the big? That's all James Harden needs to be extremely effective, because he's a threat on the 3-point line. His threat on the 3-point line, I'll either shoot or I'll drive. If he shoots, he's a 40% shooting. He's got a 40% shoot rate, I think, and above 40%. How much does he have on 3-point?
James Harden on 3-pointers is at 36%, which is
that's really bad.
That's not bad, man. 36. The league average is 33.
I know, but like I thought he was above 40. But anyway, so that's the threat, right? And then that's why he's got the whole dribble through your legs thing. And as soon as the person fakes for it, his whole thing is he doesn't take any mid-range. Then it's a drive. And when he drives, he just needs a big man to run and dunk. Who is very good at running and dunking? DeAndre Jordan. And Blake Griffin.
I mean, are you saying that that's a great thing? I mean, Nikola Jokic also makes sure that all the people have to do is run. They have to run to the right place, and he'll find them.
Yeah, but he has to make the decision.
Who has to make the decision?
Jokic has to make the decision.
They both are making the decision only. They're just making the decision. Should I give up the ball or should I continue to keep the ball with me?
Have you seen the kind of passes Jokic has to make to be effective?
I mean, he's a great passer. I'm not saying it's not a great
passer. All James Harden has to do is drive and then either lob it or take a layup. That's it. He doesn't have to like do behind the back, on top.
But James Harden is like 100 times better offensively than Nikola Jokic. James Harden can do things that Nikola Jokic couldn't even dream of doing.
Yes. But
are you putting that against him now?
Okay. Offensively, as in like as a scorer.
As a guy with the ball in his hand, he can make people around him better. Just because of how good he is.
I think Jokic makes more people better than Harden.
Because people around him are trash. So he has to make them better. But all they are doing is running. All they are doing is running. All those people are doing is running. It's just that Nikola Jokic, because of how tall he is and how smart he is and how he can get the ball. Like when he passes, he doesn't pass the ball. He passes it to where you're going. Like because he's smart. I'm not saying that, both of them are great passers. One of them is a much better offensive player than the other.
Yes.
And I think the Rockets teams that Harden had, which is not a point to be made here, but they were also pretty trash. He just drove in and got the free guy the ball. That's Nikola Jokic does that more in a much better way because the people are just running towards the basket. He has eyes at the back of his head and all that. But I feel Harden is also pretty just as valuable as Jokic. I think it might come down to the end, but I feel if they both have not even similar records, I think the fact that Harden has Kyrie and KD on him will probably make sure that Jokic gets the award. That's what I feel because Jokic has absolutely no one.
Yeah, but it's the most valuable player of the team, right?
Yeah.
That's how it is. Yeah. So
Absolutely. And I think Jokic is. I think he's slightly more valuable because like worst case scenario, if Harden gets injured, they still have like two amazing.
they're still getting into the
one-on-one.
finals.
Like but if Jokic gets injured, that team has absolutely no chance. So just because of that sort of thing, because numbers wise, if you're looking at,
So you're also picking Jokic.
No, I'm just saying that Jokic will win, but I feel the numbers favor Harden, but I think Jokic will win because I think he is more valuable.
So you're saying Jokic then?
think
Just say it,
Jokic-
bro. Like I don't know.
I see. I can't make like such bold.
Well, you
predictions,
can argue for Dame Lillard. I think Dame Lillard has a good
But Dame
argument.
Lillard has been doing the same thing for 2-3 years, and nobody's ever talked about this thing. It's sad because I feel Harden could have had 3 consecutive MVPs. He could have had the Russ MVP. It was like a very split.
Oh.
He could have had it. I'm not saying that he should have. He could have had the Russ MVP. Next year he got MVP. The next Giannis MVP also, I think Harden should have gotten it. He could have been 3-time MVP, but they didn't give it to him. They gave it to him 1 year. So I don't know what exactly they're thinking. And I feel Chris Paul also can be, because just purely based on this intrinsic thing, this thing called value, I think Chris Paul is also very, very valuable to that Suns team.
I think if the Nuggets are in the top 3 by the end of the season, I think Jokic will win it.
I think if Nuggets are top,
because it'll be very, very difficult.
Yeah,
it'll be very difficult for them to get into the top 3.
Because I don't think they can separate the wins from Jokic's presence. Like Jokic is the reason they're winning. Right now is the clear thing that you can make out. That's the very. But the win-loss record is not that great. I think what are they? 20.
I think they 18 losses.
18 losses. Yeah, something like that.
18 or 16.
Well, whatever it is. So that screen is gone. No problem. We will figure it out. But they are still like just above I think 28, 24. No, that's not done. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so that is that. And let me just consult my fake notes. What do you mean? Oh, we're all. Yeah, I mean that's it for this edition. We've talked about the trade deadlines. We talked about the best team to win the trade. I mean the team which won the trade, which is the Chicago Bulls. I did not expect that answer, but that is what is true. We talked about the MVPs, and yeah, that's it. We are gearing up to the playoffs, and once playoffs hits, Vineet and I will be doing our hashtag daily takes. Wait, no, hashtag daily take. Yes, hashtag daily take playoff edition. They'll be back, and till then.
When is the playoff starting though?
May.
Okay, 1 more month. Huh?
Yeah, 1 more month of having to watch this. Can't just get to the playoff, man. Anyway, I think by the playoff, your Embiid, everyone will be back, so it'll be more fun. I think we should have talked about Embiid, but I think if you're injured for so much of the time, I don't think they will give you the.
Yeah, I mean, if he misses another like maybe 5 or 6 games, I think.
Yeah, I think gone. Which is sad because I think he was very dominant in that first half of the season. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think he'll take away some votes from Jokic.
Yeah, true. He will. I'm sure some people will vote for him. Anyway, so we will see whether all our predictions are right. Rondo prediction or the Jokic prediction.
What is the Rondo prediction?
That they are not going to be much better with Rondo. That's my prediction.
But what is being much better mean? That's my point.
They're not going to get to the NBA finals. That's my prediction. They got him to get there, and they're not going to get there. That's all.
That's an easy prediction to make. Yeah.
How is that an easy prediction to make?
Because it's not that easy to get out of the West, man.
Clippers,
like the West
are you telling me that Clippers are not one of the best teams in the West in the NBA?
They're in the top 4 teams. They're not the best.
top 4 teams means what? They will get to the finals, right? Western
Top 4
Conference
teams in the West. Top 4 teams in the West.
No. I don't think there's any team better than Clippers apart from Lakers, and that to the fully fit Lakers. I don't think Utah Jazz is a legit thing. I don't think Suns are a legit thing. I don't think any of those are legit thing. It's the Clippers and the Lakers. That's what
I disagree. I think Utah Jazz is legit.
Oh wow.
I mean, in a top 4 team, yeah, absolutely.
Top
I would say
I mean, who's top 2 for you in the West?
Top 2?
Yes.
Lakers, if everyone's healthy, which I don't know yet.
I mean, but if they're healthy, Lakers.
Clippers with Rondo.
That's it. Clippers with Rondo, you feel is much better than the it's top 2 team. Correct. That's exactly what I said. Nothing different in what I said. I said those.
Yeah, but you said they should get to the finals.
Yes.
I'm saying
so
that
the reason why last year they were this like few minutes away from getting to the finals. This year.
Oh, Western Conference Finals, you mean?
Yes, no, I mean NBA Finals. I mean they will not reach the NBA Finals. I think they lose in the Western Conference Finals to the Lakers. Not to whichever team. Which is not, they got Rondo to get over that hump. They didn't get him to get to the Western Conference Finals. Which is what I'm saying, that the experiment with Rondo will not be successful. I can't believe I had to repeat myself twice. And this is the ending. We are gonna stop the pod now, and whatever our predictions will be, you will realize whether it's right or wrong. If it's wrong, it's nothing new for us. But if it's right, you're gonna hear about it for the rest of your life. Everyone, beware. Okay. On that note, Vineet, do we have anything special to add? No. We have some fun episodes lined up with some special guests, with some very beautiful people and some not so beautiful people. But all those will be there, and you will see more than just the 2 faces. And check us out. To follow us on Instagram and all other podcast places, and subscribe on YouTube. Here, I think the thing will be there. Okay. On that note, until next episode, Vineet, say bye.
Bye.